Here's my outlook on the local Tri-Cities housing market, where we've come and where we're headed. Of course, quick disclaimer, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict the future, otherwise I'd be a billionaire by now, but there are indicators that can give us clues about what to expect. And so far, rates have dropped by about 1% in the last 2 or 3 months. Not bad, right? But here's the thing, the local market hasn't quite felt it yet. See, in 2020, rates dropped by 1.5% overnight. The market went absolutely ballistic because it was so sudden and newsworthy. But since this is more of a slower burn, I think it'll take a little bit longer for the economy to really notice it, especially since rates are trending in a specific way at a consistent pace. It's not as newsworthy, if that makes sense. So as a result, we're predicting a boom by the end of the year, or at least the beginning of a boom. You know, if we look back to 2020, 21, home prices went up 27% in the Tri-Cities. So that $300,000 house was suddenly worth $380,000 a year later. Housing values have been pretty stagnant since then. But this time around, if we even experience a modest 10% increase, that same $380,000 house could potentially be worth $420,000 by next year. That's a payment difference of $250 a month. And so that 2020 boom in values mostly happened thanks to supply and demand because of a lack of inventory, aka available homes on the market for buyers to choose from. As a result, sellers had all the power. Buyers were offering over asking price, they were waiving inspections, putting up larger upfront deposits, even paying the difference when the appraisal valued the home lower than the purchase price, which is scary, but people were doing it. And also, conventional loans reigned supreme, right? FHA, VA offers were looked down upon, frankly, unfortunately. And hardly any seller was agreeing to contribute seller credit to help buyers with closing costs because they didn't have to. And so because of this, a lot of buyers ended up they had fewer homes to choose from, so they ended up finding homes that they had to settle in, right? And that's caused a lot of buyer's remorse, I think. So when rates went up in 2022, they felt stuck in a home that they didn't like because their payment was so affordable compared to what the market was then offering. It's not like they could just sell and purchase again when rates had tripled, right? That would change things. But that could soon change. You know, in addition to the influx of buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines for the last 2 years, there's likely going to be a lot of current homeowners that are eager to finally make that move. And so my hope is that since they have a home to sell, that the inventory problem might not be as horrendous as what we saw a few years ago. Now, right now, a majority of my clients' purchases involve the seller paying at least partial closing costs. I'm also seeing buyers going under contract within a few days of getting pre-approved. They're looking at a house, they want to go get a pre-approval, they get pre-approved, they go under contract. That's been more common lately. They're finding houses that they actually like in spots that they want to live, which is really important. Then they understand that they could simply refinance when rates go down, but as long as they can afford the payment now, then they'll just refi, right? And so it's the best of all worlds, at least for now. We're going to see a lot of buyers entering the market, and it's probably going to get a little bit crazy. So if you've thought about buying a house or even refinancing, you've been sitting on the fence, now would be a really good time to kind of look into the options available to you. I'm happy to take a look at your file and see what you can do to get best into position to pull the trigger as soon as you're ready. So if you'd like to look into that, give me a DM, shoot me a text, whatever, and I look forward to talking to you soon.